You know that feeling, right? When you're in a conversation and it just feels like someone is trying way too hard to sound smart. We all want to be seen as intelligent, but what if the very things we do to look smart are actually a dead giveaway of our own insecurities? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something called the intellectual shield.
Okay, so let's get right to it. This really boils down to one key difference. On one side, you've got the performance of looking smart. Dropping unnecessarily big words, having a quick answer for everything, and treating every conversation like a debate you have to win. But on the other side, actually being smart is about making things simple, asking really good questions, and arguing to learn something new. The goal isn't to seem smart, it's to become smarter.
And this quote, it just nails it. That complexity we hear, it's usually not about enlightening anyone. It's a defense mechanism. It's a shield someone throws up to hide from that really uncomfortable feeling of just not knowing. It's all about protecting the ego. So what's really happening behind that shield? Well, it's almost never about pure arrogance, honestly. It's usually about a deeply human fear, the fear of looking stupid or being called out for not knowing something. This whole performance, it's just a way to manage that anxiety and build a little wall around yourself to keep judgment out. So, how can you spot this shield in action? Let's dig into some of the specific habits. Think of them as the little cracks in the armor that reveal the insecurity it's trying so hard to hide. Oh, you definitely know this person. You ask a simple question and you get a 10-minute monologue back that's filled with every tangent and tiny detail you could possibly imagine. See, they're not really trying to help you understand. They're trying to bury their own self-doubt under an absolute avalanche of information. And there's actually a psychological term for this. It's called over-justification bias. And here's the key thing to get. That flood of details isn't for the listener. It's for the speaker. It's their way of trying to prove to themselves as much as to you that they've got a total grip on the topic. All right, habit number 2 is a total classic from the Intellectual Shield playbook. It's using all this super complex vocabulary, jargon, and acronyms that nobody really needs. The point here isn't to be precise, it's to exclude people. It's like a verbal smokescreen that's designed to make everyone else feel like they're not smart enough to even join the conversation. And this brings up a really simple but powerful question you should ask yourself. The next time you run into a wall of jargon, just stop and think. Is this person genuinely trying to make a complicated idea clear, or are they trying to make a simple idea sound complicated? The answer tells you everything you need to know about their real motive. Okay, let's move on to a couple of habits that are even more subtle. These are sneaky because they create this very convincing illusion of understanding, but really, they're just another way to dodge the vulnerability that comes with real learning. This is the person who is constantly consuming information, reading articles, quoting stats, dropping headlines, but they never actually connect the dots. It's like a librarian who collects thousands of books but has never actually read one. They can throw a ton of facts at you, but they really struggle to explain what any of it means. They have plenty of information but zero insight. Now, this one is tricky because, look, skepticism is a good thing. It's crucial for critical thinking. But this is different. This is that reflexive, automatic no to any new idea. It's not about finding the truth. It's about avoiding the risk of ever being wrong. There's a name for this too. Defensive ignorance. By just shooting down every idea before it even gets off the ground, you protect yourself from ever having to admit you were mistaken about something. It is the ultimate form of intellectual self-preservation. It keeps the shield perfectly intact. And all of this brings us to maybe the biggest and most common stage for this kind of intellectual combat, the argument. But as we're about to see, why you're arguing changes absolutely everything. One way is a performance, the other is a path to discovery. And right here, the intent is everything. When you argue to win, your ego is on the line. The goal is to just be right. But when you argue to learn, you put your ego to the side. The goal is to get it right, and maybe even get there together. It's a huge shift from a battle to a collaboration. So we've talked about all these defensive habits. What's the alternative? How do we actually stop performing and start engaging with the world in a way that's more authentic, more real, and way more productive? Well, the answer starts with making a conscious choice to just lower the shield. So what does that path look like? First, it just starts with awareness, recognizing when we're putting up our own shield. The next step is huge. It's about embracing the phrase, "I don't know," and seeing it as a powerful starting point for discovery, not as some kind of failure. And finally, it all comes down to a simple choice in every single conversation. Is my goal here to win, or is it to learn? Because when you really get down to it, this whole thing is about redefining what it even means to be smart. It's not about having this giant fortress of memorized facts. Real intelligence is active. It's a dynamic process of being curious. It's about the quality of the questions you ask, not the quantity of the answers you already have.
And that's the final thought I really want to leave you with. In your job, in your relationships, in your own personal growth, just think about it. What new ideas, what deeper truths, and what amazing connections might you make if you just made the choice to lower your shield?